Hello, NWOBHM here today. It's the 28th of June 2024. Quick favour if I can ask that of you, and that's if you wouldn't mind please subscribe me to the channel, because that'd be a big help if you would. So please do. Today we're looking at Chateaux, who you might remember from the good old new wave of British heavy metal days. They put out 3 albums in quick succession back then in the early 80s. Before disappearing, and now the always reliable Cherry Red Records have put together one of their always excellent box sets comprising of Chateau's 3 albums. The band were originally called Steeler and formed around about 1981, I think it is, but quickly changed their name to Chateaux when one of their songs made it onto a compilation album called Metal Maniacs, which was issued by Ebony Records, who would become the label to which Chateaux were signed and under which they released their 3 albums. Those 3 albums would follow each other in quite short order, really. It started with the debut, Chained and Desperate, in 1983. And this one's notable for featuring the late great Steve Grimmett on vocals, who at the time was doing a spot of moonlighting from his day job in Grim Reaper. Now, Chained and Desperate is a fine album, powerful NWOBHM, guitar histrionics from Tim Broughton, scorching. There's plenty of power there. Really entertaining stuff, and when you add in Grimmett's distinctive and equally powerful vocals, it's quite a mixture. And that debuts up there with anything that Grimmett was doing at the time in Grim Reaper. It's that kind of style. If you like Grim Reaper, you'll like this, and vice versa. And they're not too far removed from each other. Chained and Desperate did go down well. And the band would hit the studio very quickly, perhaps too quickly. Maybe some record company pressure involved there to get them back in the studio sharpish to record a follow-up. There were wholesale lineup changes involved there. Grimmett went back to Grim Reaper full-time, and only Tim Broughton remained in place for the recording of the second album, which was entitled Firepower and came out in 1984. More or less repeated the formula of the debut, though with a little bit less gusto to it, I think, in my opinion. It is enjoyable enough, but I feel it does suffer a bit from following on too quickly after Chained and Desperate, and perhaps if the band had given themselves more time in the studio, they would have come up with a better album. But it's not bad. It's not bad. However, it would see something along the lines of, well, the law of diminishing returns, I guess you could say, started to kick in with Firepower. Third album, Highly Strung, would follow again very quickly in 1985, which makes it 3 albums in under 3 years. Quite some output, isn't it, when you consider that these days bands take a lot longer than that just to do one. But anyway, there we are. But Highly Strung, well, not so good. It's got a feeling of sameness about it, as though they'd run out of ideas somewhat, and probably that's what it was, because poor sales for Highly Strung, and that was pretty much it for Chateaux, unfortunately. But say this box set by the always reliable Cherry Red, who keep finding stuff like this to put out from the good old NWOBHM days. Excellent box set as always. It is an interesting listen. And as I've said, if you remember your NWOBHM and you like Grim Reaper, I would imagine you'd certainly like the first album and the second at least, particularly the first with Steve Grimmett on vocals. So that's Chateaux, Spirit of the Chateaux, 3 album CD box set, remembering the old days. I'll put a link to it as always in the description underneath, so you can go and check it out if you'd like to on Amazon and pick it up, because it's quite reasonably priced as well. So there we are. That's it for now. Please do subscribe to the channel before you go, because that would be a big help. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and take care.